Hello everyone, it is Erin Photo here, and I am here filming a new series on this channel, which is called Your Bullet Journal Basics, or Bujo Basics. And this whole series is meant to kind of talk about different elements of bullet journaling, giving you tips and tricks for bullet journaling, and just basic information about what bullet journaling is. So before I get into the nitty-gritty of bullet journaling, the first video that I wanted to do is my main tips and tricks, with the caveat that every single person is different and their needs for bullet journaling are different. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is to determine your essential spreads, and I emphasize the term your because, like I said, every single person is different and what they need out of their bullet journal is different. So here are 5 things to help you determine what are essential spreads for you. And the first is to start a mind map, because you have to sit down and think about what you need out of your bullet journal. For example, if I needed to set budgets, maybe I want to do a finance tracker. And try to limit it to 2 or 3 elements. Don't overload yourself with so many different kinds of trackers. Don't add a sleep, a mood, a habit tracker with 80 habits on it. It's just not sustainable, so try to limit it down. And don't copy spread ideas if they're not useful to you. If you don't own a home and you don't need to do home projects, maybe you don't include that spread, for example. And don't be afraid to use your few months as trial and error and tweak those later on as you acquaint yourself with bullet journaling and learn more about what you need out of your bullet journal. So definitely be willing to adapt as you go along with your bullet journal. The next one is limiting your habit tracker. So I still do this to this day, that I try to avoid doing too many habits. If you fill up, like I said, in a habit tracker and fill it with 30 habits, you're going to be a bit overwhelmed, especially if you're not used to habit tracking before. So try to limit yourself to 2 to 3 or even 5 at the beginning, and then try to align those habits that you're setting up with the goals that you are setting for yourself. For example, my goals right now are related to working out, so I have 5 different elements that are related to me being active. And then, like I said, your first few months are going to be very much trial and error. So try different types of habit trackers. So maybe you need a little individual one with a calendar. That way you're only focused on that habit tracker. Or maybe the monthly spreads don't work and you need it on your weekly. Or maybe you need it on a daily spread. So definitely be willing to adapt. My next trick is to try both art and minimalism before you decide what works best for you. And to be honest, that may mean different things at different times of the year. So don't be afraid to go back and forth between a more minimalist spread and a more artistic spread. But try both, because you may find that artistic spreads are self-care times for you. That's what happened to me, that's why I got into artistic spreads, is because when I sit down to do a bullet journal setup, it is very much a time for me just to relax, put on a podcast, and draw. If you don't think you're artistic, which I think everyone is in some respects, it just takes practice, but try coloring sheets or tracing something if you don't think you are artistic, but definitely give it more practice than you think you need. Don't be afraid to have themes with your minimalist spreads. Maybe it's just a color theme. Maybe you're just doing like, oh, I'm doing lavender headers, but that is my theme for my minimalist bullet journal. And like I said, don't be afraid to go back and forth. If you know you're going to have a very busy month, try something more minimalist. If you know that it's the winter, you have a lot of time off, and you may want to draw more, then try to be a little bit more artistic that month. So definitely don't go for a super intricate theme when you know you're going to be busy, because then you're just setting yourself up for failure. And Last but not least, don't start a bullet journal just to be a social media famous person, TikTok famous, Insta famous, whatever you want to be. Set it up because you need something out of it. And that's why I say go back to your essential spreads. The next one is a monthly review. So think about what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change for the next month. And keep a bullet journal wish list of spread ideas that you think could be helpful for you in the future. And then add them slowly and methodically and learn to cut things that you don't need. So definitely do that monthly check-in to say, hey, this is working. I'm going to keep this next month. Hey, this isn't working. It needs to get changed to just a really simple list. Hey, this isn't working. I just need to cut it out. I need to focus on something else this month. And last but certainly not least is investing small. Don't buy everything that you can buy related to a bullet journal. For example, I have stencils on my shop. If you don't know if you're going to continue bullet journaling, don't buy a stencil. I will fully admit that you don't need everything that's in my shop. You don't need anything that is in anyone's shop. Do your trial and error. Pick maybe a couple things or some knockoffs versions that are a little bit cheaper so that you can make the best determination for the future. And then if you know that this is a system that works for you, then, determine if you can, one, and if you should invest more money in different types of supplies. And then start a wish list and then rank the importance it is to you in fulfilling your needs out of your bullet journal. Maybe you bought some knockoff brush pens from Amazon, but you really want those Tombows. But you also need to invest in, just a regular gel pen. So take the time, limit yourself, and then expand when necessary. And even if you're years into this and you know you like all the things, I'm speaking to myself here, you don't have to buy it. And then do some trial and error. Like I said, start with 1 or 2 items and then grow more. Don't buy 10 or 15 items if you haven't even started bullet journaling. So stick with maybe something that's a little bit more paper and pen. So those are my 5 tips and tricks for the beginning of my Bujo Basics series. Please let me know anything that you want answered in this type of series, and please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.